If you're interested in trying out Mana Traders, look in the description box for the link and enter the code JankMTG when you sign up for 5% off of your first 5 months. Good until April 22nd. Because of Mana Traders, I'm able to build all sorts of decks without having to buy the cards. It's a really great service. I recommend you try it out. Slaying that Jank. Hey guys, Trent here coming at you with another deck tech. This time we're going to go into Pauper. This will be my first Pauper video series. Pauper is in a format I do enjoy playing. It's cheaper to play and it's more relaxing to play. And I thought, what better of a way to introduce my Pauper videos than to find an actual budget deck for Pauper, if there is such a thing. And there is, so I'll show you. So here we have it, Black Green by Is Daisho. This is one of about 2 or 3 builds that are similar that have recently 5-0'd Pauper leagues. Now Pauper, they don't have, I believe they don't have competitive and friendly leagues. It's just a Pauper league. So this is, you know, anybody that wants to join a Pauper league is in the same league, I believe. But anyways, here we have a deck that has made multiple 5-0s that is less than 5 tickets online. So Pauper is a budget format anyways, but it doesn't get much more budget than this. And it's a really sweet deck to play for less than $5. So anyways, back to the deck. So the idea behind this deck, it's Black-Green Delve. We have a bunch of graveyard enabling cards to fill up the graveyard, and we just play a bunch of big delve creatures. And then somewhere in between we've got some big haymakers that just stick around for a while, but that's all they need to do to get the job done. We'll go over the mana base first. So we've got playset of Evolving Wilds. It's the Pauper fetch land, if you will. It's just another graveyard enabler. By sacking the land, we put another card in our graveyard for delve. Basic forests, 3 jungle hollows, some basic swamps, and then the 5th fetch land in Terramorphic Expanse. So the 1-drop slot, we've got a playset of Deadweights. This is the removal of choice because we have a total of 8 cards main board that can tutor up a enchantment. One of them being Vessel of Nascency, our other 1-drop. So we can sack it, find a artifact, creature, enchantment, or land, or planeswalker, which we'll never play that in Pauper. But anyways, outstanding graveyard enabler that we can put down on turn 1. Other removal, we got a couple Chainer's Edicts. We can flash it back from our graveyard if it gets milled later, late game, but it's a good solid removal spell. You see it a lot in Pauper. Got a playset of Commune with the Gods, one of the best graveyard enablers. This one also lets us get an enchantment card so we can get a dead weight with it. We got our Satyr Wayfinders. This one only lets us tutor a land, but it puts a 1/1 body on the field and then enables our graveyard and then lets us hopefully get that extra land we need. Got a couple of Werebears. I think this may be one of the weaker cards in the deck. We can ramp mana with it. It does become a 4/4 when our graveyard is filled. The only problem I see with this card, it's okay, but a lot of times we can fill up our graveyard fast enough to where we can delve a Hooting Mandrills or Gurmag Angler quite quickly. So getting this as a 4/4, a lot of times it just won't stay a 4/4 because we're constantly depleting our resources from the graveyard. But still, it's an okay card. Got a playset of Grizzly Salvage. We get to look at 5 cards, and for this one we get to pick either a creature or a land. So an outstanding graveyard enabler again. Lets us fix our mana or get that delve creature that we want. Putrid Leech. This card is proving to be really good. Of note, it is a black creature, so it can't be hit by Doomblade. It can be quite evasive. You get a lot of evasion for 2 mana. And the reason is because you can pump it to a 4/4. So that dodges a lot of removal. So our only 4-drop, we got Blastoderm, which is really strong. If we can resolve one of these, I mean, this card can pretty much... it's one of our win conditions. It can just win the game on its own. I mean, it's a 5/5 for 4. And you get to attack with it, 3 times before the faded counters run off of it. And it can't be targeted. So, really strong. Then we got our Hooting Mandrills. You can delve this out pretty quickly. And it's just a beating trampler. It's good times. And then the big boy Gurmag Angler, probably the premier, big creature in Pauper. Control decks run it. Many decks run this, and nobody runs it better than a deck like this. I mean, we can play this card super quick. So sideboard, we got our anti-control and a playset of duress, anti-graveyard and a couple Nile spell bombs. Got the extra Chainer's Edict for decks that are not swarm decks that are running stuff like Gurmag Anglers and creatures that we're going to get the value out of having more Edict effects. Single Doomblade to bring in against any deck like Mono Blue Delver and just burn any deck where we want to kill a non-black creature. Big targets are Thermal Alchemist, Delver of Secrets, and stuff like that. Shrivel against the Swarm decks, Elf decks, and all that stuff. Got a single Leaf Crown Dryad. I guess against decks where they have a lot of flyers, but mainly maybe decks where we're trying to race combat damage-wise. So this is an enchantment creature, so it can be tutored up with our Vessel of Nascency and Commune with the Gods that search up enchantments. A couple of Cartouche of Ambitions. This will be in against the heavy aggro matchups and burn especially because it grants lifelink to our creature and it can ping down one of their creatures, but mainly for the lifelink. Again, it can be tutored up by our Vessel of Nascency and Commune with the Gods. And then a couple of Gnawed of the Bone, a really brutal card against burn. Gain a ton of life because we can mill a ton of cards in our graveyard, and for each creature we gain 2 life, and we can cast this twice unless they have graveyard hate. Or if we mill it into the graveyard, we can also flash it back from the graveyard. So a super strong card. So that's the deck. Green, black, Delve, and Pauper. It's a blast to play. So let's check out some matches.